Well, good evening. Welcome. We're going to do some sketches. Anyway, my name is Ricky Kipfer, Tops artist. Going to work on a sketch here. Pretty big one. It's a triple panel of OS1 characters. So fill the chat with questions if you have any. First YouTube stream I've done a few Facebooks, but we'll see how it goes. Let me know if the resolution looks good. The cameras and the lighting probably is terrible, but it's kind of a temporary setup, so we'll just go with it. All right, well, I'm gonna get started and just work on this. This is one I've been working on for way too long and need to just go ahead and color it tonight. So I plan on spending as much time as it takes. We'll see if it goes quick, if it goes slow, I don't know. So thanks for everyone who joined. I can't see the chat where I'm at because my system's to the side, but I'll pause a little bit and jump over there and answer questions or respond to chat in just a little bit. I want to go ahead and get started. Something I normally do, I use a lot of ink and pencils. I don't use a ton of paint on these, and I tend to erase the line when I go through them. I go over them like this. So got Slobby Robbie's head here. I'm going to have to take this line away, and I use like a sandpaper pen eraser style looking pencil there. So a little fancy little thing there on the end. I don't like the brush, but the brush really works really well, actually. I should tear them off, but anyway. This card's from, I think this is from the 35th, actually, yeah. So, from last year, but it's a return sketch. And I've got a few more I might work on tonight. Just depends how much time I spend on. I don't know. We'll see. This is my my last night here. I'm in Virginia. I'm going back to North Carolina. I'm from there, and I have a house there as well, but moving back, so before I tear down all the art stuff, I'm gonna try to do a little more work. It looks like Potty Scotty's got a little line issue too. So this has been penciled and then inked like once. I've went over it, lined it once, and I like to get rid of all the graphite because it seems to run funky with alcohol markers, Copics, and things. Kind of looks ugly. You get caught with it. I guess the same cases across the board here. And I'll go over this a couple times. I can use a few different paints and things to go over it too. I just like to sort of make sure that line's not as dark as it is when it first, like that. I like to lighten as much as possible. All right. I'll try to go over all the flesh tones first. I think I'm going to start there. Just get all that out of the way. I'm not sure where Potty Scotty's ear went here. Let's give him one. Poor guy. A little better. Cannot wait to get to the coloring stage. My favorite's the coloring, and everyone's probably to watch is the favorite part. Is probably the coloring too. I don't know. I think this has about 20 characters in it. I was just going for as many as I could feel like I could fit in there from OS 1. And based on what the client requested. So let's check in the chat out. How long does it take to finish a sketch like this? You know, I think from, I do it in 3 stages. Usually I do the pencil, wait a while, feel it out, and then line it another day. I take my time with it. If I'm doing it for tops for a set, I can do this maybe like 2.5 hours probably. I go slower on these because I want to produce a really nice quality. I mean, you can go faster if you cut corners, but I think probably 2.5 hours. I'm going to go real slow tonight because I'm not in a big hurry, but yeah, especially if you're in shape too. If you've done a lot of them and you're kind of warmed up, doesn't take as long. These are a little tougher because there is a lot of detail. They're smaller. You try to, work stuff in. I'm going to probably tweak this one a lot because there's tons of little details everywhere. But let's just get some color on here. I actually enjoy doing this standard size sketch cards a little bit more, but you get so much more space to work with these, it's true. But all right, let me see. I'm going to go ahead and start inking or coloring so it looks a little smoother. I love to just line it more and more and kind of make it pop more. But let's get some skin tones here. Just a sec. So these are the skin tones I use, these Copic markers here. There you go, tons of them. I'll tell you what I'm using. I start off with, well, it's off with a skin white, or cotton pearl as they call it now. More politically correct with it, but I think that's something like that. Just as a base coat, and just to build up from there, we'll start going different colors. This won't produce a lot of effect on the card. It'll actually dry lighter, but it just helps me a starting point. Again, be careful, don't hit the graphite. If there's any there. If I do, I can kind of get around it. There's a lot of shadowing stuff that's going to happen, so can I conceal it? Again, I think I'll come back to that. This one's about out too. You can see the tip is really dirty. It's kind of I'm going to stay on this half of the card, just work over here for right now. Let's make it realistic here to get it done. Did I say 2.5 hours? I meant 3. I meant 3. I feel not. I think if it's something you're familiar with, like all these being OS 1 characters, it's not as bad. So I've drawn a lot of these many times. So, but make sure that's there. There's something else bugging me. We'll come across it soon. Do I have a favorite Garspeel kid? That's hard to choose, really. I have some I favor. I definitely favor the old school, but I do like a lot of the modern stuff too. Depends on the artist, but I guess if I had to choose one, I mean, probably Nasty Nick. Probably Nasty Nick. Pretty basic, right? But I do like one from brand new series 2 called, it's a remake. His name is Tim Burr. It's a tree being chopped down. Used to be the old Haunted Forest from the original series. So I like that one a lot. It's real simple. I like the ones that have real witty, or wittier names, I guess. So, all right, let's get some real skin tones going here. So now break into the T Orange E95. Get some real depth here. You may not be able to tell on camera, but I'll start to build some effect here. I want that to be a little. So in the chat, what's your favorite GPK character? Or favorites, you know? If you have some favorites, I can go ahead and maybe sketch them another time or something. I'd say another one I have is another favorite I have from when I was a kid, from original series 4 is Losing Faith. She's a little girl strapped to a bomb being pushed out of a plane. It's pretty funny. Like that one. I have a friend of mine, that's his favorite card. It's one of the few I had left from a kid as well, so. The card like this too, I'll get to a point where the markers only do so much and I'll switch over to pencil and sort of build up more depth and things with it. especially on a return card. But when I do cards like this on the regular sets and the inserts, I try to actually produce a return card level if I can. Try to keep this straight here. It's all about timing. The Topps give us a lot of time on the new set coming out. We've had a lot of time to work on those. So hopefully you'll see a lot of great sketch cards out there this time around. I think the last few sets have been pretty good. Some sketch cards and even artwork's been great, but it's all a matter of opinion, you know. Let's see. We're getting about as far as we can on this. All right. Let's see. Heather Ball, okay. I'll have to look that up. Just blanking on it at the moment. I'll have to look that one up. What series is that from? I always think of, when I think of Upchuck here, I did one of these a long time ago before I did Topps work. And it was an appreciation drawing for another sketch artist at the time. It was Dustin Graham. If you're familiar with his work, he's a really fantastic artist. But I was asked to send him a thank you sketch in sort of like a fan art community. And I made one for him, worked really hard on it, and I made the throw up here all glow in the dark, used some glow in the dark paint on it. So I always think of that one when I did. I have it somewhere. I think it's on my Instagram, deep down in the Instagram. On the bottom, there might be one there. yeah, sent that to him. He thought it was pretty cool. Going ahead and just putting some more lining on him to show you how this can pop a little bit more. It looks really good in person. I don't know how these look over camera, or even online when people post pictures, they always look a little weird, look different than when you work on them, but it's all right. I go pretty heavy on my lines. I'm a lot more of a cartoonist than some of them, so. Oh, from Late to School. That's why. I'm just not, you know what? I should be more familiar with Late to School. I'll have it in a binder, but I'll have to look that one up. Definitely will. You know, I think I know I think I know who you're talking about. I think I do now that you mention that, but check into that. I've been drawing for GPK. I've been drawing GPKs about 5 years. About 5 years for tops. I've been doing those in wacky packages too. I did those when I first started. I did both. I worked on an online set, and I worked on some replacement cards for the 50th anniversary set for wacky packages. So almost 5, not maybe like 4 and some change. Time just flies by. Pretty good with the names and the characters all the way through the all original series through 15, and then I have to kind of pause when I get to all new series. And then I know brand new series, and I know some of the theme sets and yearlies, but I still like to get packs and build a set every time, so I have a reference and at least a copy of the set. I like how the block stands out. Okay. Yeah, pops a little bit. The online collection, you're referring to like the what was it, the NFTs, I guess the digital ones, right? Where they did OS1, they did OS2s, and I guess they did like Tiger King, and then they did the inserts recently. I guess in the redeemable cards in the last set, right? In the food fight. I guess you're talking about those. Yeah, I mean, I don't. I think I have a pack or two of the first OS1, just being curious. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how people will collect those in the future, if they'll be popular or not. I think Topps is trying to get in front of new trends and things like that. So all bases are covered, right? I think it's a good thing for GPK overall, whether you collect them or not. You know, if there's somebody out there who wants them, great. It's not really my thing, but I do own a few, so it's just something just out of curiosity, and they went crazy fast. I remember at least on the OS1 packs. You know, it's kind of crazy. I don't know. I'm a more of a traditional artist, so I have to say that I've done a little bit of digital art, but not a tremendous amount. It's kind of like a wait and see for me, I guess. But I think it speaks to the health of GPK and Topps, so I'm glad they're pursuing it. Just banking on the fact that, you know, there is a group of collectors out there who do enjoy them, and there's some that don't. There's some that don't understand it at all. Cryptocurrencies and crypto, you know, I guess any sort of digital collectible like that is a newer thing. And I still think, you know, your base core GPK collectors are you know, a little older than that. They're not old, but they're definitely not all the youngest collectors out there. Probably in their mid to late 30s, early 40s, mid 40s, somewhere in there. So I don't know. Some of them are really anti online, some are not. I don't know. I'll tell you, if I was asked to make some or work on a project like that, I guess I probably would make the best of it. Just, you know, something to get your art out there and try to do the best product you can for collectors. You know, that's kind of what I always think about. Is I always want people to enjoy what they're pulling out of a pack. So same thing. If they enjoy the crypto or the digital style collectibles, fine with me. What about you guys in the chat? Do you like them? Do you collect them? Do you think they're the next generation of GPK? I do know young collectors, and I met with some who just like pulling cards and building sets, and they still like physical cards. A lot of them just like Pokemon though, so they're really into that. It's super popular. But I don't know. I think about trading cards in general. It's like is it a dying collectible, a dying thing, or doesn't seem like it. The pandemic showed us anything. People were really pin up and really interested in collectibles again. So, all right. I'll ask what you guys thought of the Sapphire release last year. If you were able to get any of those, or what do you think about that release? Thought that was really interesting. I like Chrome. I was fortunate to be able to grab and collect those a lot when Chrome 1 and 2 came out. Oops, sorry. I feel like I put a lot of money into Chrome 1, but I really like those. But they are just a pretty reprint, but I liked them anyway. But the Sapphires were a whole new thing. I'm just curious what people thought about that. Some more shading on this here. This is a light Sudan. We'll see. I do see, there's like Tops is licensing a lot of stuff with GPK on it. It seems like these days, and that's also good for the health. I think that's part of the online thing we're seeing too. A lot of saturation in the market for different products, which is good. Using their license for stuff. So curious to see what the maybe you saw the news about the HBO series. They're going to work on a cartoon series of GPK. I'm not even sure what that's going to be like, but I've only seen clips of the old one. I've never really watched the episodes, but I've seen some clips. It's very, which never formally aired. I think CBS got cold feet and wouldn't air it. But that'll be interesting. I mean, I don't know. Hopefully based on like the books they've been working on or what. I just like that feel. Probably wouldn't be exactly that, but if you've read any of the books that they just came out with that R.L. Stein's worked on, and Joe Simcoe did the covers, and Jeff Zapata did the internal artwork, which is pretty cool. All right. That's getting almost where I want it. Trying to make any mistakes here. I'm just doing these on memory. Pretty easy though. So I think this is blended. I must have a better marker than this. Let's see. Yeah, there's a better one. I have multiple of these. Honestly, you can refill them and stuff, and I can replace the tips, but honestly, sometimes you just have to have a new one. Yeah, it's going to require a lot of blending here. For this one, I went kind of more brown shading, but sometimes I do, and I might go back and put a red shading over it to make it look a little different. My reds. So my reds are in a 35th anniversary tin here. Let's see. I'm going to blend that a little bit so it's not such a hard line there. Yep. Still going to have to address that. All right. Let's see. Like there's going to need a lot of pencil on him. I don't like the way he's turning out. So if we get like the skin kind of like muddled like that, we don't like it, you can go in and sort of take a colored pencil. This is a peach color, and just kind of blend it with this as well. And that will sort of lightens the shade a little bit, but it blends a little better as well. So if you can see that, is blending a little bit more evenly at least. So, yeah, that's much better. So, one thing with this card is I've got a lot of graphite that didn't pull off of it, so. So, that being the case, there'll be a lot of colored pencil work on it to get it where I want it. Let's see. Oh, you just started drawing again? That's very cool. I hope you find it therapeutic. Sometimes, if you get in the zone doing this, it's just you lose time, and that's the best feeling. You can kind of just relax, and even if you're hopefully not frustrated with what you're drawing, but you can enjoy it so much. Those are the best times where you lose time. But glad to hear you drawing again. It's cool. I took a long time off from drawing. I drew comic stuff when I was much younger, and I just never thought it would. And I never had the time to take it too seriously. Worked on other things. I've worked in IT for a long time, so it's my main thing. But I really enjoy drawing a lot, and it is somewhat therapeutic sometimes. Since you said you just started drawing again, what do you draw in GPK? You draw on other things? Just kind of stuff you into? I draw a lot of GPK, obviously, but I do like to draw other things, and don't have a lot of time for it usually. But I got something else over here I drew recently. Let's see. Oh, here we go. I drew this for someone who I'm working on. This is just, they wanted a sketch of Wonder Woman. Its original was going to be a sketch card, but I decided just to finish this out, and I'm going to either paint this or something with it. I'm not sure yet. And then I drew that recently. It was on the Instagram too, both of these. But this is just like similar to a card I drew for the Topps Art of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles set that came out in 2019. Here's the original card I had. I kept this one. And I redid it for just a live stream over there on a private group. But I'd love to do something different once in a while, So, but I'll work on that as well later on. So I like comic art too, but I like doing landscapes and just trying new things. I don't know. Sometimes you just see something and you think I can draw that, and you go with it. Or I'd like to try that out or something, right? I'm trying to remember. I think his eye is purple. Pretty sure. Let's get with it. Yeah, why not? Let's just mix it up a little bit. Well, and also with being a frontline worker, I'm sure you've had a lot to deal with this past year. So appreciate your work there for everybody. That's a big, important job.
usually they're not appreciated enough. So. I like Electric Bill too. I know it's Frying Brian, but I love the name Electric Bill. It just makes me laugh. I have an alternate sketch I did of him where I, instead of having the lever to turn on the electric chair, it's a coin slot for 25 cents to put quarters in to shock him. I kind of thought that was funny. It was an older sketch, but Wacky Jackie. Let's see. Strengthen these lines a little bit. I try not to get into a bit too big of a hurry if I don't have to. I know I have friends of mine who work on these too, and they say set timers up and, you know, dedicate only so much time to a card, but that's hard for me to do sometimes. You know, it's done when it's done, but, you know, still got to make deadlines, so. And I've not had any trouble making the deadlines for these cards, so. Let me check the chat real quick. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. It's just, I'm glad that you're getting some relief out of it. I love Disney characters. I did a Little Mermaid recently, and I drew an Olaf for a lady. She was a yoga instructor, and she just liked Olaf. And that was fine with me. So I like doing Disney characters. I don't do a lot of them. Busy doing these, but they're very cool. Never done any Sesame Street though, but that would be cool. I love Muppets, and I love, of course, Sesame Street stuff. Anything Jim Henson's awesome. I mean, he's great. Yeah, I did a Little Mermaid recently. Well, a few months ago. And I'm working on another mermaid style illustration for someone who wanted one. So that's cool, you know. It's not always about what you're drawing. It's kind of like how well can you execute it, you know, and can you make it special for the person who's getting it, that kind of thing. So. Really got back into drawing years ago with a friend of mine. He was drawing, and he was drawing GPK and other stuff like that. And he just kind of got me back into trying it out. And I thought he was drawing in pen only. I thought he was just drawing straight out in pen. It's kind of funny, which I always drew in pencil. Like I could never imagine using pen and ink and doing things because it was just,
terrifying that you make a mistake and how would you undo it, and you realize it's not what happens in the end. But I drew everything at that time in ink, and it it sort of tempered me and made me learn how to draw without worrying about making mistakes and not making less mistakes by making intentional movements, I guess, just carefully. But then I found out my friend was not doing that. He was actually using pencil and lining it like normal people. So it's kind of a funny story to me. Like I thought he was going really hardcore, and I'm like, oh wow, you're human like the rest of us. So what kind of materials do you use to draw with? You use colored pencils, paint, markers, watercolor, anything like that. I personally like to use alcohol markers because I can blend them like I did here, and then I use pencil over it to sort of enhance the drawing some, and it's really mixed media at that point. Then I sometimes highlight with paint, but sort of like a comic artist. I mean, really, it's sort of quick drawings. Plus, it's a sketch card, I think, so it should be kind of quick, right? Shouldn't be like a final painting, but sometimes they get like that. I know a lot of different sketch artists just they go all in and they paint them, and it's great, and they produce a fantastic piece of work. So it's just what your style is, what you want to do, how much effort you want to put forth. It's all good. There's some I want to paint too, so. Go easy with this one. I like Boogie Betty's eyes. You can kind of get a nice little texture on them. Cool, cool. So taking some Star Wars characters and sort of mashing them up. Yeah, there's a series you probably know about it out there. It's is it Garbage Chute Droids? Um, they produce a few cards out there that are sort of GPK fan made mashups out there, but yeah, there's a license thing with that. You really Tops isn't allowed. We're not allowed to really work with any sort of Star Wars mashups or cards. It's a licensing thing, but maybe one day. Marvel's the same way, and so is Disney. You don't see any sort of GPK cards that are making fun of Disney or parroting Star Wars, and there's a reason. There's a licensing reason why. But there are a few in this. I can think of one at least that seems to slide by once in a while. So I think I'm going to do that one this time in the most recent set. But I've worked on one Star Wars set. I probably will try to do a few more in the future, but they're cool. I mean, they're cool to work on. Poor Star Wars artists. It seems like it's repetitive sometimes for them, but it's a cool subject to work on. what you said about the sketch cards out there. Yeah, you've got people who just do the heads and the faces, and I call them just the heads when you do a sketch card, and it's just like the face, and as long as you color it real well and do enough shading on it to make it look all right, I get it. But yeah, I mean, I know it's if you get a quick sketch and it's just black and white, it's just not as cool as a color one. So I try to do full color every time now in every set. I rarely do grays anymore. If I do, it's because I wanted to or because I've ran out of time, which hasn't happened in a long time for me. So that's good. Let me find a marker. But I get it. There are some artists who just do quick sketches, and that's their thing. I think like these kind of cards, if they're not like a return card, they're collector's box, right? These are, I think the triples are. So you're putting a lot of money down just to get a hit on one. So I would hope people put some effort into it, and I hope collectors enjoy them. I mean, that's the whole idea is, so many sketch artists and so many of the artists are fans of the product. So, we're fans too. We want people to like them. So that is one unique thing I think about GPK is you got artists in there who really like the product, not just artists who are hired to draw something, So that sets it aside, sets it apart a little bit, I think. So. Let's get a little deeper, a little darker on that. Let's see. Have you ever pulled a sketch card out of a pack or a box or anything? Or have you had to buy them? I'll tell you, I've only ever pulled one. I pulled a sketch out of the 30th anniversary set, or I'm wrong about that. It might have been the American as Apple Pie set. I think it was that set. And I pulled a Spacey Stacy that was by Chad Sears. I drew one of the I pulled one of those, so that was cool. But that's the only sketch I've ever pulled. That was before I worked on stuff for Top, so I don't know how that feels. I pulled that out of I had like a bonus pack or something from Walmart, like a jumbo pack or something. It was kind of weird. Let me see. I'm going to go to pencil on this. Hey, how's it going, Mike? Good to see you in there. Yeah, thanks a lot. A lot of characters. I was telling you earlier. I think there's 20 in here. I think I counted 20 earlier, but I was trying to match up with what the customer wanted. He just wanted a bunch of OS1 characters in there. Jump around. Let's see. Keep all my markers in Talente gelato cups. Very fancy, right? Started using those years ago. My wife and I love this stuff, so it's a cheap way to store markers.
Too dark. So I am curious, has anyone pre-ordered any Series 2 from 2021? Vacation set? Be honest, I haven't ordered one yet, but I'm going to. I usually get a box. This is bad now. I get a box and I set it on the shelf and never touch it. If it's a box, if it's a set I worked on, I just kind of leave it over there. My son can look at it one day and open it maybe. I don't know. I've been doing that for years. I love to go out and grab packs and on release and open a couple. But then I set them on the shelf and look at them, and then I'm one of those people now who don't open his cards anymore. I'd say I have a rule against that too, though. I had a blaster box of OS1 Chrome, had one left, and I was going to leave it sealed. This was years ago, and I decided at the last minute I was going to open it, and I opened it, and there was an autograph in there. It was an autographed Wacky Jackie from John Pound. So if I had left it sealed, I would have never known the difference, right? So lesson learned. But that was Chrome, so that's different, you know. Check the chat again. Pulled a sketch and food fight, huh? Yeah. I didn't open a whole lot of food fight. I do have a base set, and I still have sketch cards I'm still rolling out with them, so I think food fight, the artwork turned out better than well, it always turned out very well. It didn't turn out better than I thought, but I was happy that it turned out so well, I thought, I mean, personally. I'm sorry you didn't get a better sketch, but sometimes that happens, I know. I know early on, one of the earliest sets I worked on, I did a sketch, and I had a guy contact me and said, I really like your work, and it's cool, you know, and he said, I like this, I did an odd Todd, I think, and he said, I don't like the odd Todd you did, but in fact, I hate it. I'm like, but, like, okay. Haven't done odd Todd since then, but maybe I'll do them again. But feedback's important. You didn't like the way I colored it or something, I don't know. It's all right. Because that's okay. As a fan, you can not like things. It's really okay. It's just GPK. But I think it matters. I think people do work on their art and make it better when there's a problem. So I'm not liking how this is turning out, but we're going to fix it. I'll show you one of my tricks. So for years, I looked for the best like white pencil you can use to lay over ink, and this is what I found. This was the best pencil right here. So it's a great pencil. I think they were like $7 a piece. Now they're like 11, but they're awesome. So let's go right over, and you can blend something out like that where I want to add a little more shine. Back in like that. Make that pop better. All the tricks of the trade tonight. But I don't use super expensive pencils for this either. I use this brand here, this Soho Urban Artist. They're like a harder pencil like this, but you can use whatever you want, really, whatever you're comfortable with. But I've used Prismacolors and Polychromuses and things like that. But these, I use a lot of these, and they're not super expensive either. But they're really like a harder lead. think of them like clay almost comparatively to other pencils, but they're not. They're not clay based, I don't believe, but pretty nice. And then like a touch of silver here. Not that you can tell, but a little extra detail to blend the edge there with the white. Put a little silver. It might shimmer a little bit. I doubt you can tell that in this camera, but hey. Maybe so. All right. What kind of eraser do I use? You mean eraser? What kind of eraser do I use? I think you mean eraser, but I'm not sure. Show you what I've got. Real simple stuff. Use just like these little pen erasers like this, and tell you what I really like is this. This is the trick for me. This is a like a Tombow eraser, and it's a very tiny little eraser I use to do detailed erasing while I'm drawing. And I love this thing. This is great. I used to use one on the end of this, and this is a zebra pencil I've used, mechanical pencil. It's a M42. I think it's wore off here, but I've had this since I'm 16. I've been using it forever. But I used to use this little eraser here, if that's what you mean. But that still is a little. This is way easier to use. And it's like a 2.3 millimeter or something like that. But I use pretty much these three erasers, and then like a meeting eraser to, you know, pull off the heavy lining sometimes on a drawing. Yeah, I use a mechanical pencil. A lot of people use traditional pencils on these, and that's cool, that's fine. But I use a mechanical pencil. I draw tighter than I don't draw as loose, and I don't want to sharpen all the time, like you said. So yeah, absolutely. Sentimental. I can draw with other pencils, but I draw everything with that pencil. So like every GPK and every drawing. So I do have a backup one, but. And to line with, I use, just so you may not know, ask, but I use these Copic multi-liners. I use 0.25 to line most things. I might go up or down depending on what I'm doing, but these are great. They just don't smear very much at all when you're after they dry. They're really good. Can really pound them with ink and they're fine. So really like these, and they're refillable. So you know, kind of thing. All right, let's see. Let's do a little gray on him. I'll tell you, it's hard to talk about things and draw. It's very different. But it's kind of fun. Enjoy talking to everybody here tonight. So appreciate everybody showing up or watching. That's cool. Hoping to do more of these when I get to the other house. The bandwidth there is a little different, so we'll see. But if this is something like you want to see more of for different stuff, you know, like if you have a sketch or something you want me to do next time, throw it in the chat or let me know, and I'll probably make that happen. I've got some more commissions coming up this week I'm working on for people who have asked me to work on some, or I've got a charity one that has to go out to, so I like doing stuff like that. So let's fix him up a little bit. Let's get Bill. All right.
needs a little bit more shadow. Five o'clock shadow, that is. I was wondering in the chat, is your, I'm assuming a lot of you like to pull, like your favorite chase cards are probably like sketches, I hear a lot, but you like to pull autos, sketches, other things, depends on the set, I know, but I guess with the sketches, it depends what you're pulling, right? If you're pulling something simple or if you're pulling an artist you don't really, care about or like, I get that too. Definitely some of them put more work in it than others, but overall we have a pretty good roster, I think. Let's see. I'm not going to use it in this drawing probably, but I like to use a lot of airbrush on this side because I think classic GPK, they use a lot of airbrush in the background. It just looks good. I really started using that when I worked on the Turtle set back in 2019 with Topps and Nickelodeon. I needed something to do for the backgrounds, and I thought, well, I had the airbrush set up, and I airbrush with ink actually. I don't use paint on that either. So there's an airbrush system with the Copics, but they make all kinds of stuff. I've seen them for even Crayola markers or things like that, and they're kind of fun to play with, but they add a cool effect. And I think they're really 80s too. That makes it feel really 80s when it's airbrushed. So I'll try to work that in when I can. There's not much space here in this one to work it in. I mean, airbrushing here would be kind of silly. It's not much. I mean, I could mask it off and do like a little spot here or there, but I think in the background I'll do something different. A lot of these characters just kind of fade away or something. Like I talked about drawing just heads, and here's Nasty Nick, and it's pretty much just his head and a little bit of his cowl, but he's stuffed in there. So let's see. Make her springs look a little bit better. I think I'll leave that alone for now. Let's get some eyes here. It's a little dark for the eyes. The smaller you go, the less colors you can use sometimes because you can't really see. Like if I use two-tone colors on the eyes, you can't really tell. But I'm going to try. So, let's see. So, you probably can't tell on the camera. It's a little different there. And we're probably going to work on his eyes some because they're not hitting just right, but we'll get there. I think his are green technically. Hers are blue. There's the other thing is trying to remember the eye colors for all these different characters. Now, I can look it up, and honestly, I'll show you exactly what I used to look them up with. Well, you can go online, of course, and look them up, but I do have, of course, it's right down here. I use one of these. I use this book. I'm sure a lot of you have it. I just set this up and look at them. Great reference. I usually draw from a reference usually. This one's autographed. I got a lot of autographs in there from some of the big artists in there, from Tom Bunk and Joe Simcoe, Bert Engstrom, Smokin' Joe, David Gross, Chad Sears, LeBron, and Mark. Mark's in there too. Yep. So every time I see those guys, every time I see an artist in desktops work, I get them to sign it. But yeah, put this in a little stand to look. So let's just check out. I want to make sure Potty Scotty has green eyes. Probably tell me in the chat if he goes quicker. That's cool. That's cool. The art means more. Yeah, I try to always remember it's more about the art than the artist. That's a good perspective. I totally agree with you there. Because it's not about what I'm doing. It's more about what this looks like in the end. And if it's, you know, if there's dedication into it, if you can see that someone cares about what they're doing. Potty Scotty, oh man, it's been a long day. His eyes are blue. Pretty sure they're blue. Yeah. Swear they were green. Well, anyway, we'll make them blue. I mean, I could make them green. They wouldn't know the difference. What kind of rainbow are you working on? The one for late to school for that character you mentioned earlier, was it Heather Bale? I'll have to look it up here. Let's see. Heather Ball. So Heather Ball, working on a rainbow for that. I've never built a good rainbow, except maybe for I worked on a rainbow. I can't remember what series he's from, but it's the Wolverine one. He's got sort of Swiss Army knife stuff for his claws. It's Logan. Was one of his B names, I think, is his B name. Can't remember. Swiss Arnie was maybe the A name, but I got the gold of that. I got the red of that, the black, the textured, and I got the autographed one that wasn't autographed. It's like an error card. And then I got LaRon to sign it. So I got to see him up at a show one time I was there, and met up with him, hung out with him, and got him to sign it. So that was really cool. But I got that for my son. My son's name's Logan, so I wanted him to have that. So, but I never built one for myself. But I think rainbows are really cool. That's a really good objective to work on for collecting. I'm paranoid. Like I just feel like now Junk Food John's got green eyes, but I don't remember. Let's see. No, they're brown. Totally wrong. Yeah. See, I knew something was up. So let's go to brown. It's kind of different when I work on one character versus jumping around to multiples. I don't usually work on multiple cards at once or multiple characters that much. I would focus on one and finish it and go on. But that's too dark, I think. Tonight we're just going to jump around and do whatever. It's cool. I don't know. We'll see. Oh yeah, that's fine. It looks good. It'll work. So on that, like to get a little more color variation in that, since it's such a tiny eye like that, I'll probably use a multi-liner with that, like this. This might be a little dark. Might be too dark because it might just show up like the pupil, but I'll have another one over here too. Yeah, here's one. Probably would just barely touch it on the side. Go in there a little bit. And it may not matter, but you know, there's probably tiny little white spots on the edges where I didn't hit with the marker. If you can eliminate those, you might get like a little bit more of an effect. But it's going to be marginal, you know. But the big thing is simply dotting the eyes with some white paint. Or I like to use a white pen. I use a white gel pen a lot. So like that, see how it sort of coats on top of a darker color? These are fantastic. Just a little dot right there and a little dot right there, and they come alive. Like it pops really well. So I don't know if you use something like that, but I just use like these gel pens. I have a few different brands I use, but these are the Jelly Roll ones. Are pretty good. Not bad.
I've got a few different brands I've used. Let's see. I think I've used, well, I've not really used this one. This is like a Michael's generic one, but anyway, I've used a few different ones. I think I've used, this is silver, but I've used theirs. I have a white one like this. The Uniball is pretty good too. This is the silver version, but I've used the white one too. And I've used paint, so you can use paint too, whatever. It's more portable. All right, let me darken hers up a little bit. Here I went light, and I'm gonna go dark on the edge of the eyes just to make it pop a little differently. And really, if you do enough of it, you can almost make it like you don't have to even use the white paint if you want to shade on the bottom like that. But I'm not. I'm gonna dot them. And honestly, I'm just doing it to show stuff around. But I usually do this last because you don't want to bump the paint. But you can always redo it if you don't like it. But yeah, it really pops more than you think it would. So pretty cool. Oh, for heather ball, okay. That's great. So you're using eBay, you're using collector groups on Facebook and things like that. I watch a lot of those. I watch a lot of the Facebook groups. Just see what's popular, what's going on, but I don't really participate in a lot of them. I thought about selling sketches in there. I thought about doing that or selling different things I've got, but just haven't. And so how far away are you from completing the rainbow there? What are you missing? Let's see. No, I think that was a hole down there actually. Make an error like that where I've got a little bit too much something else somewhere, you can just use this pen to cover that up too if you want. And you can layer this with paint, even marker a little bit. You can go over this lightly with marker. So, let's see what time we got. All right, go a little bit longer. Work on the tongue some. Always have to see what I'm going to use for pink that's way too pink. You know what I could start with is, yeah, this will work. Could start here and move up. Guess it's probably not dark enough. Nope. I'll just go right to a red. Yeah. Let's get dark. I'll leave like a little strip of lightness through the center of the tongue a little bit. Might come back and add something with a pen or a pencil, because I like to kind of put a little texture with a pencil on there sometimes. Here we go, crimson. This is a good one for it. It's also tough because it's on this seam. It always sucks when you're drawing some detail on these seams. And something too we try to avoid is a lot of times you get these cards and there's like a, even from the factory, on the seams there's like a, they fold them for us and put them in a box, and there's like a stress fracture or something, like a little vein there where they folded it incorrectly, so, or it just didn't fold right, so try to work around that. If there is that, I always try to cover that up or color over it real hard so you can get rid of it. But sometimes the cards come a little damaged or off center or something, so, but no big deal. Get some darkness right here too. Still want to get this where it's a little light back there. I think, let me see here, I might want to add something to that. Nope, that's really what I wanted. That's good. Kept thinking it, like it actually showed, thinking of, I'm thinking of a different character, but it's, you can see like the tonsils and the throat back there, but not on Junk for John. Let's see what we got. The gold and the autographed, yeah. Oh, I wanted that. Let's see, his hair. Let's see. Well, good luck on finding those. I hope you can get them on eBay cheap or something, or can trade for them. I pulled a few golds. Pulled one or two autographs, not too many, back a couple years ago. But yeah, honestly, I don't collect the same way I used to. Just a little different. Kind of get a few lines in his hair there. Yeah, that's what I wanted. Like a little fine line through there so you can see his individual hairs. It's pretty cool. I like that. All right, let's get the teeth looking kind of nasty. First, let's get those gums. Get them looking healthy, then we'll take away the health. How about that? I'll show you how we fix that. Need more than that, so let's see if we can. And sometimes for that, let's see, where's my, here it is, flesh tone. So there's a trick with these, I don't know, you might know this or not, but you can blend that out. See, I went a little bit over on the red on his lip there, and you can just take that flesh color and just blend that little red dot on it. It's a little tiny dot on his lip, but I can see it and it bugs me. So if you're going too fast or you're tired, you can easily make mistakes like that. But again, it's a sketch, so that's better. If that doesn't work, you can try erasing it with one of these. This is this abrasive eraser I talked about. This is the Faber-Castell Perfection 1058B. The B is this thing here, but the 1058 has these nice. It's almost like a sand eraser. If you're familiar with that, it scratches and burns away part of the paper a little bit. So you got to be careful with it so you don't tear the paper, but it will take off some of the ink. Let's see, where's that? problem having small desk here. All right, yeah, and also just go over with that a little bit. There we go. Looks good. All right, let's get the teeth. So the teeth, I want to look a little nasty. I can't get the detail in there I really get with a larger drawing, but I can definitely go in the cavity area and I can make it look a little yellowed around the edges. I'll probably use like a darker brown in there. Make his teeth look a little nastier. All right. Cool. That looks pretty good. And a little darker in the center where the actual cavity is at. Let's do that. Find something. This is a Copic colored. They don't make these anymore, so I'm gonna use them up probably. Let's see. Use a colored pencil. That'd be all right. I heard that you used colored pencils now. The Faber-Castell, was it polychromuses? I think they're called polychromus. They're like a they're oil based. They're not wax based, so you have to be kind of careful using them versus using these. You know, they don't work together very well. So I don't use these tremendously a lot. If I use these, it's kind of like a finishing touch. They're great pencils, but you just have to, you know the difference. It won't blend the same if you try to blend them. Still, no. What is this? Darker red. All right. And there's the candy cane, right? Let's see. Let's use this. I'm probably going to line around that with black anyway because I like it to pop better. But I thought I would try it. Sometimes if I'm doing certain colors, like I don't always line around Atom Bomb's stuff here. I sometimes line around it in red so the cloud pops a little differently. But like I feel like that candy cane needs a little bit more lining. Personally, let's get that out of the way. Yeah, I think I can live with that. Not terrible. His hand looks funky because of Damaged Dawn here has his hair coming out, so it looks kind of funky. I'm going to have to sort of fix that. That's where you have a drawing that interferes with another one. Perspective problems. I think it's his thumb back there, isn't it? Yeah. We'll fix that. I think I might go to about 11 tonight, so about 15 more minutes and we'll cut it off. Appreciate how long you've all been with me tonight. It's a long time to watch someone draw. I love the time lapse these, so they're just quicker and they, you can see what's going on and get to the end faster. But even those, I think they sometimes are long. So let me know if you like these, and we'll do more of them after we move to the new place. I've been thinking about doing them for a long time, and I've had a lot of requests just to, hey, Why don't you do one of these once in a while or something? So I don't mind a bit. It's cool talking with people who like the same kind of stuff. And love the art stuff. Chiming in with the art stuff's cool too. Awesome. Let's see. This is the other problem is you get a pile of pencils over here. I guess you can see it in the screen. Yeah, you can obviously. Yeah. So if you're smart, you have like an active cup here. I call it where I put stuff in I use, but not tonight. Not tonight. I know what I do. Let's go into Atom Bomb a little bit. And I still might reshape this eye later, but I feel like I'd like this one to be a little more rounded, but it kind of like he's kind of looking that way, so at least in this drawing, yes. So that'd be nice if we colored Junk Food John's other hand, I guess, right? We need that. We normally use this, but hey, it'll be fun. Like there's a lot of fuzziness through here. There's a lot of, it's like a lot of graphite right there. So as much as I think that's funny, this actually works really well. I also like just using plastic erasers. The I can't find it right now, but just straight up like a block eraser, just like this, but in block form. Nothing fancy. All right, let's get that colored up. Work on his ice cream. There we go. Do a little bit of base coat there. I don't think it's going to have much value because we're going to go right into the darker stuff. And I'm going to start off with, I'm going to switch up and use RO2 Rose Salmon. So probably more realistic getting the color, getting it done, and then let's see, feeling like I want to use a multi-liner to maybe shade around the edge of his fingers in the bottom there. You can do that. I know I've been using pencil on most of it, but you can use multi-liners too. No problem at all. Can't blend them or layer them once you do it, but not very well, but you know. How much more detail we're going to do on his hand there? Probably not much. So, all right, let's do the candy, the ice cream cone. Let's see. Probably have a color here I could use right there, but I'm not sure. I'm going to use this. Here's the E11 Barley Beige. I've used it a lot to do shading with as well in the past, just not on this one. But I think that'll be all right for a base, and then we'll coat it up with something a little darker there. Need to line it a little bit more on this side. Let's see. Yeah, it pops pretty well like that. There's some lines in here from the waffle, but I'm going to try make them a little more distinct. A little risky, but also going to make those fingers stand out a little bit more. All right, there we go. That's all right. Yeah, that'll be all right. We're gonna pretty dark. Let's see. There's an E9701. Here it is. This was a deep orange, it's called. So, give me a little more saturation at the top there. You know, I think I do want a darker color. Yeah. So I draw on top of this drawing pad. This is a mixed media pad, Canson. Get them anywhere, Walmart, wherever. But I think it's pretty close to the feel of these trading cards we get from Top sometimes. So the colors seem to match pretty well when you mark on this versus this. But yeah, so I use that as like a swatch thing. But I like to draw on the same kind of paper, or at least as close as I can get to it. Waste a lot of paper probably that way, but it's all right. All right, let's see. Very cool. Thanks. Hey, Randy, appreciate that. Yeah, coming up in the next set, hopefully we'll do some more cards like this. I think you're right. I think the more detail you can pop in there, the better it's going to be. More value, I think, for collectors. So it's cool to do one character and do real high detail, but you know, it can be hard to pull that off with the time frame they give us. But again, like I said earlier, we've had a long time to work on the ones coming out. So I would hope you at least see some really good quality stuff coming out soon. In September at least that'll be out. So let's see, let's go back to this ice cream here. I think it's cool Randy's in there. I know he does sketches too, so it's always neat, like see everybody's work online. I like to see that. If you guys have any links to your work, drop them in the chat or send them privately later. I'll take a look at them. I'd love to see your stuff. Or if not, that's fine too. Yeah. Let's see. Let's go a little darker. A little weirder, a little different color. Which is good because it needs to be a little brighter than that. There we go. I'm going to blend that some, so we can make that. Let's see. First, let's blend it with a very light red. Let's try this. That might be all right. That might be too much. I'm going to come back in with the white pencil and kind of lighten all that up. It's just about building those layers up, right? And then let's see if we can find a pink pencil that would work well. No, I got some more over here. I'm not sure about that. Maybe magenta. That should do it. It makes it a little darker. That's what I'm looking for, is a little bit more saturation around the edges and stuff. All right, pretty decent. I'll work for that. Let's go back to Bill here for a minute. Let's give him a little more shading around his teeth here, and then we'll work on the shock effect. Do some of that. So I like to give him a little bit of like a shadow around the top of his teeth and bottom of his teeth, like he's really gritting his teeth, you know. Down here, I like to do that. Top you can do a little line there, but not too much. Just a little bit around the teeth there. All right. And if you don't like that, you can go inside and, you know, whiten it. So it's not so you don't see such straight lines there with the ink. You can kind of round it out a little bit. Yeah, just mute it some. There we go. All right. You can tell it on camera. It's a little better like that. All right. So let's get in here first. So let's get in here first with some yellow. So I do a few shades of yellow in here on the shocking effect. Let's see. So Y19, that's pretty dark. A little too dark. But I'll use it later. Let's use, if I can find it. Y11 might be too light. Let's see. See, there's such different colors or different shades, different color families there. Let's go. Let's try 13. 13 is not looking great. It needs to be replaced. Yeah, it won't hurt to at least look at it. I don't like that. I don't use the chisel as much. Yeah, I don't like that. Tell you what we're gonna do. Let's go in with looking for 15. Looking for Y15. Where's it at? I don't see it. Absolutely. Thanks for coming in there. Appreciate it. And thanks for the supporting the move. Let's see. I think we'll just use the 4. We'll use the 11. Use the Y11. Let's see. Yep. 1 minute left, and we're gonna head out of here roughly. So get the electricity effect done, and we'll call it a night. All right. Might actually use a little orange on that too, just to make it look a little better. But I'm not sure what to do in the background here yet. I'm not sure what I'll do. Something probably uniform for the whole card. A gray or a blue or something for all the characters. I don't know. It's kind of the colors I like. So, but we'll think about that. That's looking kind of good. I like that. I think I'll use a. I'm going to use a orange yellow kind of, or orange red, sorry, sort of color to make that look a little better. Let's see, something light. That might work. Just try to go around the edges there a little bit, make it pop a little bit, and I'll blend that if it's too sharp of a contrast. I'm digging that. I like that. Cool. Yeah, I think I like that. I might go over with a pencil later or something, but kind of digging the way that's turning out there. So, well, everybody, thanks for joining me tonight. Hope this was entertaining, informative, or something. So, I'll probably wrap this up off camera. But anyway, have a great weekend, and thanks a lot for joining me. Have a good evening. Bye.